to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Razabani for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast's Fight Week boxer, Sky Sports with me, promoter Ben Shalom. Ben, firstly, how are we doing?
Very well. Good to be here. How are you?
I'm good. Adam Azim is back on Saturday night. He headlines again. Just talking to me a little bit about him and obviously his opponent Reyes, who I know it was a struggle to find opponents, but why Reyes?
I think, look, one, he has to headline because he's looking at the Ryan Garcias, the Gervonta Davises, the Devin Haney's, and he won't accept any less. He wants to be fighting for world titles next calendar year. So that means, one, we got to move in quickly. We've got to move him quickly through the rankings. We need him to headline shows. We need to build his profile. But it means also that opponents, as you said, can be very difficult. We offered a lot of British fighters a chance to fight Adam Azim, but in the end, we wanted to be fighting for a European title in September, and we got to get someone well ranked. Santos Reyes is a WBA Latin champion. He's defended it. He's unbeaten, and he's going to be a test. And when we can only see certain footage and certain fights, it can be difficult. But luckily with Santos, this is his lottery ticket, and this is him coming to win, and this is him coming to win on the big stage. And Adam needs these moments, and Adam's going to have to move quicker than any other fighter that we have, because of his ambition. And yeah, it's exciting. Always a little nervous because I know the pressure on his shoulders, the expectation. Obviously, young fighter of the year last year, and now he wants to become fighter of the year, and it's a big start to the year.
Caroline Dubois also returns. Again, another fighter that you're struggling to match. She's so good. She's got devastating power, and I spoke to her today, and she's like, I think I want to have a world title before the end of the year. So, can you make that happen?
We definitely can. Her confidence is through the roof. I think when we met her this time last year, it was a nervous person actually that hadn't experienced a big stage, hadn't experienced the big crowds and those moments. Now that that's out of the way, she's just grown in strength. She's still developing physically, but her talent is incredible. It's like Adam and Caroline, that trajectory that they're on, both in the same gym. It's unbelievable. Both in the same gym, both training with Shane. I think in 12 months' time, they're going to be absolute superstars, and it's a massive year for her. And yes, she wants world titles by the end of the year, which is phenomenal.
Zach Chelly and Anthony Smith Jr. have had a lot to say. I saw the presser they did last week, and even today. Anthony, we know he can talk, but can you back it up?
I remember when he signed with Matchroom, and I thought, this guy is a star. Like he knows how to talk. He's very, very good in the ring as well. His talent can't be denied, but then he just didn't seem to kick on and didn't seem to get his opportunities. He'll feel. He says he's serious this time. He's assured me he actually wants to fight a middleweight, so super middleweight will favour Zach Chelly, who's fought a light heavyweight and is a big super middleweight. And look, shout out to Zach Chelly as well, because it was Lerone Richards last time, it's Anthony Sims Jr. this time. You could tell him it's Mike Tyson next week, and he'll get in that ring, and that's what I want to see in British boxing. I think the key with Zach Chelly is we need to see more variation if he's going to beat Anthony Sims Jr. We know he is aggressive. We know we can only really fight one way, which is very, very exciting, very strong. But we're in for a real fight, and Anthony Sims Jr. want to show his class, and then move on from there. And Zach Chelly, it's a big night for him.
Obviously, Vidal Riley, Tyler Denny, Brad Paul, so stacked card on Saturday, and your second show of the year.
Yeah, it is a next gem for us, really. Vidal Riley and Caroline Dubois and Adam Azim, both huge potential, all three huge potential, massive stars, and then two 50-50 firecrackers. Jamie TKV also stepping up against Nick Armstrong, who's an unbeaten British heavyweight, was going to be fighting for the English title, and then we put in this offer, and I'm looking forward to Saturday. It's a interesting card, and obviously 3 stars of the future as well.
Absolutely, we look forward to a great night of boxing on Sky Sports. Just moving away from the show, a couple of announcements that Boxer have made today, actually. Firstly, signing of heavyweight Martin Okolie.
Yeah, Billy Nelson's been on to me for the past 6 months. I actually find him so funny. hilarious, will call me every single day. And even if you don't pick up, whenever you answer, he's a great guy, and that's not why we signed him. But Martin Okolie, top of the tree in the WBA rankings now. Unbelievably impressed with his performance against Tony Yoka last time out in Paris against a former Olympic champion. Looks so good, so strong. I know how avoided he is because I've tried to get fighters to think about fighting him, and he won't be able to be avoided now in his position. We were looking at that Daniel Dubois title. We're looking at hopefully moving towards world titles very, very soon. And delighted because he's a fighter that never had the platform, never had the opportunity, but has the talent, and will fight anyone, which is so rare in the heavyweight division. We feel we're really, really strong in a lot of the other divisions now, and the heavyweight one is where we're looking at a little bit. And Martin Okolie is a fighter, I think, that's really dangerous and has massive potential. So yeah, delighted to have him on board.
When can we expect him out?
Very soon, March, April.
Now it's another show, back to Manchester. Looks like that's your home. Lawrence Okolie, Jack Cattrall, Fraser Clark. So obviously I'm guessing this is Okolie's mandatory.
Yeah, I think we announced the show initially in Liverpool, but Tasha Jonas will wait. We've got a big fight that we want to announce. We're just waiting on it. And then Jack Cattrall, obviously the fallout with Taylor Cattrall, he wants to get out. He wants a homecoming. He wants to get moving with his career. And so Manchester Arena was available that day. Lawrence Okolie was going to be on the Taylor Cattrall card as well. And so it made sense. Okolie headlines finally. In a tough test, I think David Light did really well against Brandon Glanton last time out. In the final eliminator, I didn't expect him to win. So Lawrence, especially been out that long, a load of people are going to be interested to see how he performs. Obviously a lot of interest in what's gone on with him personally. Obviously now signed with, or now being trained by Sugar Hill, who trains Ben Whittaker for us as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they hook up and how they go forward, because obviously completely different trainer to Shane McGuigan. But I'm excited by it, and I'm glad for him. I can't wait for that night. Dan Aziz, I think, will also fight his European title fight on that night. Carrie Sartingstall, who's been waiting to kickstart her career, who's from Macclesfield, so will fight in Manchester as well. Fraser Clark, step up. Riddell Booker, a fight that a lot of the fans were calling for. It's a big night in Manchester, and yeah, delighted to get Lawrence headlining on Sky and get moving.
We spoke last week, and you said Chris Eubank Jr. and his team had about roughly 2 weeks to activate the rematch clause. It's a week on now, so I'm guessing a week left.
Yep.
Has there been any talks, any discussions with Team Eubank?
Yeah, I saw Caller's comments around they've given me no indication, but I think the elbow complaint is all the indication that you need that they might be going for a rematch. And so we'll know in the next week. Liam Smith's going to have a massive fight, whatever happens. We'll know in the next week, and obviously it would be a massive, massive fight, whatever anyone says, because Chris Eubank Jr. has never been stopped before. If he takes the rematch, it means the confidence is there. But whether he does or whether he doesn't, Liam Smith has got big options now, and we'll be able to make that decision in the next week or so.
I want to just read out Khaled's comment that he made, and he said, we certainly haven't given any indication. Is it an interesting option? Absolutely, but is it the best option? We've got a few more weeks to think about it. Do you feel like with this whole Conor Benn saga that's going on now, if Eubank does take that rematch and does lose again to Liam Smith, it's not as attractive, that Benn fight? And we know there's a lot of money in this. So do you feel like they could be enticed with Benn coming back and having that fight?
I don't think anyone wants to see that fight right now until Conor clears his name. So I think that would be a stupid option, but I don't know what fans think. I don't know whether there's interest in that anymore, or right now, definitely not. So I don't think that would be the option. I'm not denying Eubank Jr. has other options. He's a massive name. Whatever the result was, he's still a huge draw. One of the biggest outside of the heavyweight division that I've said before. But I know Chris a little bit. We have promoted his last 3 fights. I know that will have hurt him, and I know that he'll want to. He had so much pride in that he'd never been stopped. He had so much pride in how people thought of him in the ring. I know that's going to be. He'll be thinking about that. And yeah, when I see the elbow comments, you start to think that he will. But yeah, one more week and we'll find out.
Eddie Hearn Matchroom announced their schedule a couple of days ago, 6 or 7 shows. We know Frank's got a couple of shows. Are you going to all trying to work together to make sure there's not as many clashes as we had like last year. We had all three of you going on the same weekend.
Yeah, we're trying. We do speak to George Warren a little bit and made sure we didn't clash on certain dates and things like that. So we are trying, but it's going to be inevitable. We've still got another show, a couple of shows in the short term that are going to be announced, which will have to clash with a couple of shows, but it's impossible to completely miss. I've always said it, the fighters are the ones winning. Yes, as fans it's frustrating, but the fighters are the ones winning. We all have fighters that need to get out, that need to realise their dreams and go as far as they can, and our biggest priority is the fighters, especially, well, obviously the ones that are signed to us. We're going to deliver for them and we're going to do everything that we need to do, and sometimes there'll be clashes, but hopefully not too much.
Sticking with Dazn, they increased the prices over the last couple of days as well. I'm sure you might have seen them on social media. Some people are not happy with how the prices have increased with certain terms and conditions, but your reaction?
It's difficult because I think it is difficult to charge for boxing when there's no other sports. You don't see it from the other channels, so it is difficult, and I think it's a hard situation to be in. Obviously, however anyone wants to monetize and this and that, it's nothing to do with me, what they do on Dazn. I'm looking forward to some great fights. I think everyone's looking forward to Taylor Serrano. I'm looking forward to seeing Arte Joshua back in the ring. I'm looking to see Joe Cordina fight for his world title. So listen, there's some good fights there, which I'm looking forward to. I'm a boxing fan, whether it's too expensive, whether it's not expensive, I can't really comment on.
We spoke last week about the whole Kell Brook stuff. Is there a chance that he might come out of retirement? Have you had those, or have had any conversations with him about that?
Yeah, there 100% is. I know he's always thinking about it, but he wants the right opportunity, the right big fight, whether that's Liam Smith, whether it was going to be Eubank Jr., who knows? But I know he's considering it.
Okay, Ben, we'll keep it short and sweet today. Anything else you'd like to add before we end?
No, good to see you, mate.
Ben Shalom, IFL TV, thank you very much.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.